Yes, my name is Obed Ben, and today this is my last show. I want to teach you what we call the real business in God's business. The gist, the musai, the blood that flows in the goats. Of course, Obed Ben is my name, president of the Little Income Earners, and of course the highest agribusiness paid consultant in the whole of Africa. Regards to my friends in South Africa and regards to my friends in Nigeria that have invited me to go there very soon. I will be joining you soon to talk about the business in the goat business. So I'm giving you just hints today. When you have a goat pen full of goats like these ours, the business is not the goats themselves. The business is the offsprings. Goats will not grow 2 times the size they had when you bought them, but they will multiply. They will give you in their lifetime, in a lifetime of a goat. Each goat, I'm telling you, each goat is supposed to give you at least 32 kids. I don't know if you have gotten the business. One goat is supposed to give you 32 kids in its lifetime, counting the lifespan of 8 years. It means each year it is giving you 4 kids, and in a lifetime it's going to give you 32 kids. So if you have 1,000 goats times 32, and we are just counting this one goat, not the offspring is giving birth. A goat gives birth today and you sell the kids before they give birth. It gives birth again, you'll get 32 kids from one goat. So that is the business. But for us who have future plans, we also wait for the kids to give birth. So instead of selling 32 from one goat, we sell 100 from one goat. We sell 1,000 from one goat. Because we wait for the children of the children, the great children, and the great grandchildren of the one goat. So by the time we sell the goat in 8 years, we have seen the 7th children, the 7th grandchildren. So it means we have gotten money. Even if we give this goat for free, even if we let it die, we have gotten a lot. Imagine one goat giving here 100 goats. So if you have 1,000 goats, that's 100 goats. I was sent away. But you have to be logical, not emotional, for you to do a business. Because you will see these goats are going to go on heat. Then they start climbing each other, mounting each other. Then you'll be like, oh, I bring back my pens, my he-goats, my backs. You feel so bad, you feel you're losing. But if you're logical, you will not see that. You will assume you're not seeing that. You look aside. Meanwhile, in your head, you have a plan that when these kids are given birth at once, I will use them separately. So we separate guys from nannies or from does, what we call female goats. We separate male goats from female goats simply because we want to have birth at the same time. 2, we want to be able to connect. Where are these kids coming from? Who is the father? Who is the mother? What is the agenda? What is the genetics? What is the genetics ratio? How genetically these goats are related? You cannot do that if you have kids born in January, others born in February, others born in March, others born in May. You can't know, because every month it means you're going to separate. But here, for example, next month we are going to have the backs back here. So they are going to mate from November, December, and January. We take them back. So I'm expecting kids from May, June, and July. That is the dry season. So it means by August, I'm finishing the birth. So I again introduce. So by January, I introduce in August, in July, August and September, so that by January, March and February, I'm getting kids. So this is an off season. This is an off season. Of course, there are goats that will find their way and they get married. That are 0 to 6 months grow at a rate of 60% every time per year. Goats between 6 months and 1 year grow at around 40%. 1 year to 2 years, they grow at about 20%. 3 years up to 5 years, you may not even notice how fast it is growing. But you will see a goat will grow very fast, very fast. Actually, sometimes beyond 60, it goes to 80. So this is a very good season for you to sell. If you're wanting money, better sell between 6 months and 1 year. 1 year and above, wait for a sale. Let's first get the babies in the stomach of that goat. Simply, that is how the business runs. Of course, you can visit YPA here at Rubaga Road, or come to our farms. You can book in yourself, come to our farms, and make sure you learn and benefit.
Today we are going to talk about disease outbreaks at the farm. We have many diseases. We always face different diseases and outbreaks at the farm. But we have noticed that most of our farmers out there, they don't know how we handle outbreaks at the farm. When we get an outbreak, yes, how do we handle it that it does not spread to other animals? First of all, when we are constructing a goat's house, there are some of the things that we have to put into consideration. One, we have to have the main house for these animals, and then we have to have the quarantine section. Why do we put the quarantine section? We put the quarantine section just in case of these outbreaks, just in case we have these disasters at the farm. That's why we build a quarantine section. That if you have some diseases like goat pox, when you face the goat pox, that disease that brings up out lesions on the skin of the animals, on the body surface of the animal, what do you have to do? You have to quarantine that one goat. You have to do what we call isolation. You isolate it from other animals, then you put it into the quarantine. When we put it into the quarantine, we expect you to give this animal special care, special treatment, and special feeding. That feeding calls in for supplementary feeding. Why do we go in for supplementary feeding? Because this animal is sick. It's very, very sick. So it needs to be supplemented to ensure that it at least feeds on the animal, on some feeds. Because the drugs that we administer into this animal, for them to work, they need to, the animal has to be feeding such that these feeds act as, these feeds in the animal's body are turned into energy that will enable these drugs to work in the animal. So we put this animal in the quarantine and we give it special care and treatment. Why do we put them in the quarantine? When you leave one animal, when you leave one infected animal in this yard or in this section where we have many animals, you will find that it's spreading the disease to many different other animals, and you cannot treat the outbreak when all the animals are sick, because when they all get affected, it means that even the mortality rate will increase. You find that if you were to lose 2 animals, because now there are many animals that are sick, the mortality rate will increase, and the costs of the drugs will also increase, because it's always easier to treat a few animals than to treat many animals. That's why we put a quarantine section. And in the quarantine section, it's where we have to treat this animal symptomatically, because most of these outbreaks, or most of the diseases that cause outbreaks, they don't have cure. But what do? We treat the signs and symptoms. We follow what we call symptomatic treatment. That what has the disease what signs does the disease show or present? Then you see that it has lesions on the body. Then you find that which drug can I use to treat these lesions? You treat. You find that what will it bring? It brings about cough. Then you find what do I use to treat cough, and many other things. So that's the reason as to why we have to put our animals in the quarantine, and that's how we deal with disease outbreaks at the farm. And one other important thing is that when you have an outbreak on the farm, I advise you not to vaccinate any animal. We only vaccinate animals that are not sick. We don't vaccinate sick animals, because when you vaccinate sick animals, those are other problems. These vaccines are made out of the viruses themselves that cause those diseases. They are the viruses that they are used to make the vaccine or to manufacture the vaccine. So what's the logic behind this? When you vaccinate a sick animal, since this vaccine is already a virus, but this virus is not that very virus or the active virus, this is like a virus. So when you put this virus, or when you administer this vaccine into the animal's body, what does it do? Since it looks like a virus, what it will go and alert the white blood cells to manufacture more white blood cells. The body will manufacture more white blood cells to fight against disease-causing germs. But the white blood cells are being manufactured on a wrong virus, because this is just a vaccine. It's not the real virus, but it resembles the real virus. So the body will manufacture more antibodies to fight against that virus. So that's why we vaccinate. That we vaccinate to increase the number of antibodies that will fight against a virus. So when you vaccinate a sick animal, it will eventually die. That's why I don't call for vaccination of sick animals. You should only vaccinate live animals. Thank you for listening. Think you have known how we can deal with outbreaks on the farm and how are we supposed to vaccinate. I remain Samuel Mwonge, a vet in YPA.
My name is, of course, Obed Ben, one of the highest agribusiness paid consultants in the whole of Africa. Proudly YPA member and proudly a staff here at Youth Platform Africa. Of course, the largest agribusiness center in the whole of East Africa and the leading goat farmers in Uganda. We are located here at Rubaga Road, and right now as we speak, I'm one of the YPA, the mighty YPA farms. Today I want to teach you about something very small, which is called water. I know you have heard that animals need water to survive. But did you know that it is better than just that? We don't drink water to survive alone. 70% of our bodies is water. Because even the pasture that goats eat has largest content is water. Even the water they drink. So some people, especially those that don't do commercial agriculture, will tell you that we don't need a lot of water for goats, because goats are like camels. They don't drink a lot of water. No, sir. I said no, sir. Why? Because the higher content of water goats drink, the higher chances of getting fat growing or fast growing goats. Digestion helps us get nutrients from the products we have eaten. It is the same thing with animals. When goats eat, when they are browsing, they are just swallowing. They don't chew. They chew just like once or twice and swallow. So when that food goes to the stomach, it ferments. And when in the process of fermenting, it is secreting the first possible nutrients to the muscles. Now it chews cud. In the process of chewing cud, if it does not drink water, chewing cud is going to be very unproductive. So goats don't need water to survive. They need water to grow fast. Learn that from now. You have to give them as plenty as water. How do I know that my goats have drunk enough water? When I have enough water in the pens, but there is a leftover. I'm an African. How do I know that people have eaten and they are satisfied when there is leftovers on the plates? And this is what should happen in your goat pen. If you ever find a water trough, like the ones you're seeing here, if you find them ever empty, just know your goats have not taken water. That is one sign. But if the water is full and they are here sleeping, just know they have taken enough. Because they will always look for that water and they will take it enough. Another thing that you farmers usually do in a very wrong way. Goats don't take water at the farm or during browsing time.